Lamborghini Huracán Gr.4 race car in VR. Hello there everybody and welcome to OpenFed Gaming. I am the OpenFed. Today we are driving a Lamborghini Huracán Gr.4 race car in a World Touring Car 700 race. We're driving it at the Dragon Trail, the Garden's reverse track, and we're doing 10 laps. We started 20th of 20 cars and we started with a rolling start. Now I don't care how fast you drive, these 10 laps are going to take a while. And they're a little bit longer than normal, so they're going to take a while to do. Now I also know for a fact that there's not a car on the track that's going to be able to do all 10 laps on one tank. So we're going to have to fuel up somewhere along the line. But a little birdie told me that we might encounter a little bit of rain in this race. So if that's the case, you know, we're driving with hard tires right now. We got a full tank. I know with the full tank we can do at least 6 laps. And the tires will be fine for 6 laps also. But we're gonna let the weather dictate when we have to go in, because it doesn't matter how much fuel you got. If it starts raining and you don't have your wets on, forget it. Everybody will pass you and you might as well give up at that point because you're never going to catch up again. So we're going to race as hard as we can, catch up to the next guy, find a place to pass him, catch up to the next, and keep doing that until we see a change in the weather or 6 laps go by. Now this is the first lap. The other thing that I always like to preach whenever you're driving a race where you've got to go in for fuel is, do you know where the pit stop is? Now we just passed it and I was a little late on the ball there, but the next time around I'll show you exactly where the entrance is and where the exit is. If you know where both of them are, so much the better. But you should know where the entrance is so that when you do come around and you have to stop for fuel, you know where to go in. Well, I tell you, there's nothing worse than running out of fuel and coming up to where the pit stop is and you don't know where it is and you end up bypassing it. Then the race is basically over for you. So we don't want to do that. So we're in our second lap and this Lamborghini drives really nice. With the hard tires, it really grips the road. You still have to be careful around the corners. If you go a little bit too fast or you throttle up too quickly before you're out of the corner, you can spin out, and you will. And you know, you got to be careful on some of these corners that you don't overshoot them. That happens once in a while. If you can catch it in time, it's okay, but don't go too fast going into the corner. Having said all that, basically it's, like I said, 19 cars in front of you, and by the time you've been out on the track for a couple of laps, they're spread out quite a bit. Whoa, he almost lost control there completely. Wow, you don't see that too often. And he even got tagged on the rear end for his troubles as he was trying to straighten out. That was different. So anyhow, as we're coming around the corner here, the second lap is now almost finished, and on the right hand side right there is where the pit entrance is. Okay, and then the pit exit is about right here, just so you know that that you don't go over too far and run into a car that's coming out of the pits. It's always good to know. So that's 2 laps done. We're going to do one more. Now it's starting to growl up, and if it gets much worse, then we're going to go in and change our tires, because like I said, I know we got enough for fuel for 6 laps, and when we change the tires we'll fuel up at the same time, and then we'll be able to see on the display what position we're in. But it's starting to gray up pretty good. Now we got those rain sensitive wipers in the car, so once the wipers start going, you know we've got rain coming. So that's when we know we have to go in and get some wet tires on there. In the meantime, keep going. We keep racing. You know, like I said, this car handles the track really well, and it's really nice to drive. So as you're coming around the corner, you can either power by him on the outside or the inside, whichever you like, because he seems to have enough power for both. You know, as we're coming by here, by these guys here. it's starting to look very, very growly, and we got to make up our minds soon what we're going to do, because the end of this, the third lap, is almost here. And I don't see any rain yet. I haven't seen the wipers go yet. But boy, if we bypass the pit stop and it starts raining halfway through, we could be in trouble. Maybe the best strategy would be to put some wets on right now. We'll see where we are in the race, and we'll see how much. The tires didn't wear out too much. We came in 9th, and we had over half a tank left in 3 laps. Now you got to remember, when you're running with wets, the fuel consumption is different. So we're going to put these wets on. We're going to be good for sure for 3 laps. How much more I can go after that is a little bit in the air. So we're coming out 20th. We're in 20th place, and the wipers are going. So I think it was a good judgment call to put the wets on. You know, but we're in 20th, well 19th now, because we just passed 1 car. So we're at the back of the pack. But you got to remember, I got a full tank, I got wets on, and I'm good for 3 laps for sure. I don't know how much more I can go than 3. Ooh, try and keep it on the track, Opafet. I don't know how much more I can go than 3 laps. Probably, maybe, possibly 4. But the wets wear out a little bit quicker than the regular racing tires. So you got to keep that in mind. You know, and even if we keep going hard and we pass a lot of cars, and even if we stop in after 3 more laps, if it still looks like the weather is bad, we'll just put more wets on, and we'll do the last 4 in wets. That we can do that too. So as we're coming around the corner, these guys now on the track, they're quite spread out, especially after we've already been in the pits once. So no matter where you go, you're going to have competition, which is okay, because we want to try and get by all these guys so we can be as close to the front for if and when we do have to go into the pits again. Well, we will have to. It's not if we do. Because these wet tires that I got on here are not good enough for 7 laps, because we went in after 3. So now we're just finishing our 4th lap here. As we're coming around the corner, like I said, there, right to the right is the pit entrance. I think everybody knows that now. I've said that. I have to keep reminding myself too. So now we're into our 5th lap, and I think the rain looks like it's starting to get a little bit worse. When you look behind the other cars, you can look at their tires, and if they start to spit up a little smoke stream behind them, that's water, eh? But I haven't seen that yet, so it's not quite that bad yet. So they're all moving pretty good. They're not slowing down much, which isn't really helping me out. Although this guy in the blue Lamborghini seems to be driving a little erratic. And this BMW wasn't very nice. And the Ferrari, they're all leaving me behind. What is going on? These guys should be slowing down, not speeding up. We're gonna have to fight a little bit harder to try and get by these guys, because I know they don't have wet tires on. So if that rain, come on rain. We need a little bit of liquid coming down, a little bit of liquid sunshine coming down from the sky to help us out. Now sometimes if you got enough power, you can power around them on the outside, but we weren't close enough that time, so we're just going to take them on the inside here later. There we go. So now this is our 5th lap, like I was saying, and we're getting close to the end of it as we're coming up behind this erratic Lamborghini again. I don't know what this guy is doing, but he looks like he's losing control of his car. Holy mackerel, he ran right off the track. Whoa! If I wasn't careful, he was coming right back at me. Wow, what a race this is. Absolutely amazing. As we're rounding the corner and finishing our 5th lap, those 2 guys are going to go in and get some wets. I think it's starting to get a little bit worse. The rain is starting to come down a little bit harder. And now we're going to see some of those little water trails behind the cars as they're racing down the road. Yeah, the track is wet. See, there we go. The track is definitely wet. So that means that we're going to be able to keep a nice constant speed going at a little bit of a higher pace than the rest of the cars. So then we can power around the outside of him because he isn't going that fast. No, it's the water, it's the rain. They should have put on their wets. They should have listened to the OPAFET and followed them in. Absolutely awesome. I just love this race. This car is so nice to drive, I tell you. Now we're catching up to a few more people that are having trouble with their tires. See, and you move up pretty quick like this. You go from last place to first in one lap. Anyhow, we are coming very quickly to the end of our 6th lap, and I think what we're going to do is go in. We've passed quite a few cars, so we've moved up a lot. So we got to be actually quite near the front of the pack. So I think we can afford to stop in after 6 laps and see how bad or good the tires are. So we might have to change them. Now the weather doesn't look like it's holding up, or like it's quitting. It's continuing to rain. So I think we're just going to go back with another set of wets. Which in the pits just around the corner here. It doesn't look any better. I think we're going to put on wets, but I have to go in because I don't know how much tire wear I got left. But we're going to find out pretty quick. All right, if you look to the far left, you can see the red on there, and the white is how much good you got left, how much good tread you got left. So we could have maybe pushed another lap out of it. And we came in 4th in 4th place, and the other cars are coming in too, except for that number 1 car. He didn't come in. Now we're going to fill them right up, and we're going to leave. And we're still, well, 6. We left in 6th place. So we got 5 cars in front of us. This is lap number 7. So we've got 4 laps to pass 5 cars, but we don't know where they are. Don't know how far ahead they are, but these 2 here, they're done because they're not going to come back to haunt us anymore. But now you got to keep it on the track here. Try and you got to see, and then they, oh, so he did come back to haunt us one more time. You got to try and keep it on the track. You got to slow down for the corners. That's okay. We're getting better every time we drive. Now there's another car up ahead that we can catch up to, and I've already forgotten how many we've passed and how many we've still got to pass. But I do know that we're in our 7th lap. That I know. And we're about just over halfway through, I guess. And it looks like the sun's coming out. Wow, does it ever make the interior look a lot nicer? And it brightens up the whole race. Maybe we should have been racing like this all day instead of having all that grouty. But we should have waited for the sunshine. It would have been a little bit nicer. Now this little S-curve proved to be a problem for a few cars, but not for us. As we're coming down the strip here, we can see 2 cars in front of us. Okay, so we are in 3rd place at best, and we're going into our 8th lap. Now that one guy kept going. Oh, this guy keeps going too. So I guess they figured that the track is dry enough for them. So we're behind one guy. We don't know if he's the lead car. I mean, that is a little unfortunate. Without a display, we will not be able to know where we're going to place until we finish the race. So the best we can do is, if we see a car in front of us, is just rip as hard as you can, catch up to him and pass him, put him behind you, and that way there is no way that he can be car number 1 anymore because you're in front of him. 8th lap, 2 more to go after this. Sunny skies, the track is still a little moist in places, but it's drying up. And we've got what looks like, I believe, is a Mazda, a little Mazda sedan. I'm not quite sure what that is. Anyhow, he's fast. That he is. Now we can try and power by him on the outside here. Maybe, no. Well, He didn't want to let us go, but we figured let's keep pushing him until we're by him. I think that just put us in first place. That's got us in first place. So now basically what I'd like to do is just try and push it just hard enough that you don't lose control of the car. Because we're not 100% sure we're car number one, but we think we are. So let's play a little bit on the safe side and not lose control of the car and make the race worse if we're not. Or even if we are. I mean, heaven forbid, if we're in first place and we push it too hard and we drive off the track and a couple of cars pass us. We can't have that. We can't. The Opafet wants to win this one now. The 10 lappers take a long time to do and a lot of concentration, and you really gotta stay with it. So we're just gonna do our best and push it through. I don't think anybody is gonna catch up to us anymore now. So this is lap number 9, and we're not quite halfway yet. But boy, I tell you, this track is sure nice to drive. It flows really nice, and it works for you if you make sure that you slow right down on some of these here corners. There's only a few you have to really slow down for. And the rest you can pretty well let it coast and just throttle control through the corners like this one here and cut it from side to side, and you're going to be all right. This is one of those corners you have to slow right down for. You're going to overshoot it too far. And then as we're coming down here, we're about halfway through this lap already. So this race is almost over. Like, you know, it's amazing how when you start really getting into the race and the pit stops and changing of the tires, and you think 10 laps, and you go, wow. You get near the end and you go, I wish I had a few more laps to go. Well, we don't. And as we're coming around the corner here, we were a little bit further than halfway through this 9th lap. This is the end of the 9th, and we're going to start our final lap as the sun is slowly sinking down behind the hills. And it starts to get dark. It always adds a nice little bit of spice when it darkens up and the headlights are on and you see the lights on the inside of the car. It looks absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful graphics. And like I was saying earlier, the gameplay is fantastic because this car really sticks to the track nicely. You know, that is if you don't drive off of it like I do every once in a while. There is no need for that. There is no need for that. You don't have to do that. Just slow her down a little bit, get it under control. Control is the very first thing you gotta have, and then you can speed it up, you know. But it's looking really nice. Absolutely gorgeous race, gorgeous track, gorgeous car. You can't do much better than this. This has been a wonderful race. I hope we win this one because we're still not quite sure, and we're about halfway, a little bit over halfway on the track. We're almost finished. But I tell you, I really enjoyed it. I never used to like these 10 lappers, but I'm really starting to enjoy them. To try and come up with a strategy for the pits and changing the tires and stuff like that. It was just a lot of fun. And I hope you enjoyed watching it. Anyhow, until we see you again here at Opafet Gaming, I hope to see you back real soon. You've been racing in a Huracan with the Opafet.